Okay, hello everybody. It's 10:30 and I think we'll get started with this PD session. I know this is going to be pretty much a repeat of what happened on Tuesday, so I know that there's a lot less people who are going to be involved in it, which is fine. We'll still go ahead with it. My name is Ryan Halbert. I am the principal of the Saskatoon Catholic Cyber School, and today Todd Pazlowski and Kara Halbert are also going to be joining us and helping run this PD and answer any questions that you have. There's a few housekeeping things that we have to go over first. Turn off your mics, turn off your cameras, so we can all join in with the strongest signal that we can. If you have any questions, you guys can use the chat feature. It's probably a little bit easier than trying to talk over top of anybody. And like Tuesday, Todd and Kara, feel free to jump in at any time if there's something that you want to add or something I missed. The session time today is from 10:30 to 11:30, but like I said on Tuesday as well, since we are the last session before lunch, I know that we are for sure not going to go long. If anything, we'll end it a little sooner so people can do what they have to do yet this morning. The goal for this is more of a answer the questions that you guys will have, the participants will have. We'll talk a little bit about what a hybrid is and how you can use it, but the best parts of this PD are going to be the questions, if there are any that want to be addressed. You have us here, we can go over it, and if you have a question, chances are other people do too, so we can go ahead with that. We are recording this, so we can use it for PD sessions later if we want to bring it back up. I am going to share my screen. And hopefully you guys can see this right away. All right, I hope you guys can see the screen. You should see Introduction to Online Courses or Hybrids.
Yeah, it's good to go.
Okay, thanks, Todd. This is going to be a very general overview of what we can do. I realize many of us started using it for the first time this year, so you probably will know a little bit on what they are and how to use them, but hopefully today we can shed a little bit of light on a little bit more depth of practice for you with these hybrids. What is a hybrid? What are these courses? They are exactly what they sound like. They are an exact copy of the courses that our teachers developed to use online for kids who have to take courses at a distance. So you are dropped into these courses, the courses that we offer and that you teach, you are dropped into them. You have access to all the content, all the assessment, all the multimedia, everything. And you can use that to use for your classrooms however you see fit. This is, think of our hybrids as the big black binder that you get when you start teaching a new class. One of your colleagues brings in a big binder, gives it to you and says, this is what I used last year when I taught this class. Feel free to use whatever you need. This is an electronic version of that big black binder. It has everything that we use in it. It has all the outcomes, indicators, everything that you'll need from start to finish to teach whatever is in the curriculum. So it's resource heavy, content rich, and you can use it however you like. Lots of our teachers use it to just as a resource bank so they can pull out what they need. Many of our other teachers use it as the platform that they used for the supplemental learning this spring, where the students were in the class and they actively went through the class together. One thing that I have to mention though is that the teacher is still an integral part of these courses. You can't really just set a kid in front of a computer and just say, okay, I'll talk to you in a week, good luck, or I'll talk to you in a month, good luck. The teacher is still central to these courses because you have to provide the feedback, you have to answer their questions, you have to be a facilitator, you have to be a cheerleader, just like everything that you do in a face-to-face class, you have to do online. It's a little bit of a different medium though because it's online. But having said that, the support that a student needs to be successful is still there, and you are that support. The courses are set up so that they follow the Saskatchewan curriculum. All the minutes are included. If you go to our website and you click on the big courses button, each course that we offer is there, and you can click on the course and it'll break down all the units and how much time is allotted for each of those units. So it'll help you kind of get a general idea of how much time you should be spending on each unit. Of course, it's completely flexible. So if you want to spend more time on a certain area, you absolutely can. Our courses are designed to be asynchronous, and that means that a student can go through them on their own schedule. There's really never a time when you have to be online to do any certain thing when we're talking about a cyber school student. But in your, if you're using these in a blended learning environment, like you may be in the fall, or that you have been in the spring here, you can tell the kids, okay, today I want everybody to be at this point of the course at this time, and you can go through it together. You can see here is an example of a grade 5 social studies class. All of our classes are built primarily the same. They'll have a banner, they'll have navigation buttons, and the content will follow. But we've also encouraged teachers to infuse their own personality into the course, because like a face-to-face classroom, the relationship that is built is key for success. So I want the teacher's personality to come through in these courses. I want them to put their own stuff in. I want them to put their own spin on what everything will look like in these courses. But at the same time, having some kind of semblance to a uniformity, that if a student takes one class, they should be able to take another class very comfortably, because they are generally set up the same. I think most of you who have used a hybrid probably will understand that. You'll see it, and you'll see the buttons on the front. The courses that are available, the best way to see what courses are available will be to go to our website and click on the courses button. That is the end-all be-all of the courses that we offer. That's the master list. As soon as we have something new, that's the first place it goes. And from that list, you can see how the course is broken down. You can see the minutes. You can see who's teaching it online in case you have any questions about it. And you can also use those courses for the hybrids.
While we're watching Ryan present here, up in the top right-hand side, if you click on the little speech bubble, it's the chat listing. I've actually pasted the course listing link there straight into it. And you can ask any questions you have if you want. You can type it into the chat area there as well.
Perfect. Thanks, Todd. How can I use a hybrid? Well, you can use a hybrid many different ways, and I kind of touched on it already. Lots of the teachers who request a hybrid use it for resources to pull out. I know this spring, many teachers used it in conjunction with Google Classroom, where they would go into our courses, find what they thought would work best for their own students, pull that stuff out, drop it into Google Classroom, and present it to their students that way. It was a little bit more manageable and maybe a little bit easier for the students to pick up, because with our hybrids, you have access to the whole year, which can be a little bit overwhelming if you're just kind of jumping in for the first time. But the Google Classroom allowed many teachers to keep things a little bit more clean, concise maybe. In the fall, if you're wondering about how to use this, it might be a little bit easier to start at the beginning. If you are using this with your students, everybody's going to be starting at the exact same point in time, lesson 1, page 1 on the first day of school. So it might be a little bit easier to organize your schedule with your own face-to-face students. If they're, another way you could use this too is if you know that you're going to have some students away and back and forth and all over the place, this can be your master copy of your lesson, your unit plan, your year plan for your course. So at least that'll stay consistent. Kids can kind of come in and go out. A teacher can come in, take over. You can explain how to use things remotely. And you can also supplement these courses remotely as well. If there's something that you don't want your students to do in our hybrids, you can always amend that and send out an email to your students with another assignment. You you can always supplement. This spring, you had access to what we call static hybrids. And that means that the hybrids themselves could not be edited because there was one master hybrid and all these courses or all these classrooms were put into it. If teachers are wondering, that's the same model we are going to use this fall because we just don't have the time or the space to make individual hybrids for every teacher for every class that they teach. Having said that, if you know that you are going to absolutely need your own copy, you can still request that. Probably the best time would be after August 1st because we're doing extensive upgrades to our to Moodle, and we should be done by then, and you'll be able to get fresh classes for the fall. But know that if you don't do anything, when you start up in the fall or near the end of summer, you will have all your courses that you are teaching and that we have copies of available to you. All you have to do is log into Moodle, your classes will be set up, your students will be in there, just like it was for the spring now, with the supplemental learning plan. How do I get a hybrid? If you go to our website, there is a registration link that you can request an individual copy of a hybrid. And our program leader, Todd Pazlowski, will probably reach out and talk to you about it, and we can get you set up if that's what you're needing for the fall. I don't know if, Todd, if you want to add anything there. I don't know if there's more that you want to add.
Yeah, actually, like you've already gone over and given a pretty good overview of what the static hybrids were. And it was really eye-opening to us as we've gone through this really unique spring that by providing those static hybrids, we have so much capacity already in our division. Teachers who are using the Office 365 integration or Office Teams for their classes, or people who are using Google Classroom. And so what we've decided, and it really is kind of both financial and strategy and professional wise, teachers don't necessarily have to have a hybrid that they can edit in Moodle because many teachers aren't using it that way. It is, like Ryan said, the big binder that you can gather resources from and then put them into the technology platform that you're most comfortable with. Now, of course, we still will make hybrids that are hosted on our Moodle site that you would have access to and edit, but we're really trying to balance those things because Microsoft and Google, I mean, you can literally make 100 courses personalized exactly the way you want. There's no limit to the storage. And so that's what we just kind of, when you register for a hybrid, we'll go through a few questions just to ask what the best way to get this information to you is. And then based on that, we'll work with you to try and get that into your hands.
One of the major advantages to having a static hybrid too is if there is a mistake or a broken link or a broken picture in that static hybrid, we will fix it for you and it'll be fixed for everybody who's in that static hybrid. If we give you your own individual copy and there happens to be a broken link, we probably won't be able to address that for you immediately, or considering how many people there are going to be asking for help this fall, it may take a while for us to get to each individual hybrid to fix an error that might be inside of that. So there are definitely advantages to each model. And like Todd said, for the most part, I would think that the static would work for many. There's going to be people who want their own copy to edit, meaning you can add your own stuff, you can delete stuff, which is fine. But with our Moodle upgrade from 3.4 to 3.7 this summer, we're going to be able to probably allow for a lot more individual permissions in our static hybrids too. So there will be more information to come on that. I'm looking at the chat section here and I can see that Brandon had asked a very popular question. Will elementary French courses be implemented in the near future? I would wish I could say yes, but probably not. We know that there is an appetite for it. We want to develop them. But right now, our priority this year was more on PAA. We are going to be trying to get more French developed as soon as we can, for the same reasons why you want them developed. These classes are hard to make because the resources are so sparse. but that's even probably a better reason to try to develop them so French teachers have access to more resources, because we know how hard it is to find what you're looking for. Just to say to reiterate a little bit more, I know many of you have already used these hybrids. So coming up in the fall, if you would want some extra PD, or if there's any administration on the line watching this, if you want someone from Cyber School to come out to your schools in the fall to do a little bit more of an in-depth PD session where you can ask us specific questions, we totally can do that. The fall might be a little busy, but wherever we can, we will. And the fall, it's a moving target right now, so we're not exactly sure what it's going to look like. I know you know that, and we know that. So we're trying to develop for many different scenarios, and depending on what happens with the pandemic, some schools may want us to come in late August, even early September, to try to address some of the needs that will be more apparent at that point in time. Right now, we're doing this to try to just let everybody know what we have available, but the specific questions might be more directed in the fall when we know how teaching is going to look, or have a better idea anyway. Things are going to be changing many times before then, and probably a few times after school starts anyway. Know that Cyber School is fluid and flexible, and we're here to try to make your lives easier. So whatever you need, ask the question. We'll try to do what we can to make your lives easier. Oh, Mark, yeah, great question. Right now, all the teachers have access to a Moodle support course that was developed for teachers who are brand new to Moodle, as well as those who have a basic understanding of it. It goes over general topics and some more directed ones, like how to change a link, how to upload a video, how to do all the things that you as a teacher may want to do to help differentiate the instruction for your students. All of our courses have a multitude of content in them already, but for some, you may want to change that because of your own needs for your own classroom. If you log into Moodle, there is a GSCS Moodle support course that you can go in, and you can go into it this summer too. It's open 24/7. You can go in and you can look at the topics, and you can watch the videos that were created in-house using the exact copies of the hybrids that you will be using. So they are very authentic, and they'll let you see exactly how to navigate the Moodle platform and hopefully answer most of the questions you will have. But if there are any more, you can always just send them our way.
I see that Wanda had asked about how to convert materials from the Moodle classrooms into Google Classroom, and Mark has already posted a link to that material so that you can follow through step by step and see how to transfer that material into your Google class. And I'm going to paste a link here into the chat comments now. But basically, we've been starting to gather resources that are an introduction to Moodle 3.7. So I'm going to post a link to a sway. If you open that up, it kind of goes through and gives you a bunch of introductory videos on how to use Moodle 3.7.
Thank you, Todd. I'm just trying to go through the chat list. I don't know if there are any outstanding questions. I know that this PD session is more of a basic introduction, and many of us are maybe at that point. But like I said, if you have any questions, let us know. And if you have any questions that you think of after the fact or over the summer, you can send them my way or Todd's way, and we can address them as soon as we can get to them. We'll be working, like many of us, over the summer, and we'll be connected. So we want to make sure that we can help those teachers who want to try to plan as best they can, trying to hit a moving target for the fall, but we're here to support you guys. Are there any other questions that are burning a hole in your head? Because we can address them. And you don't have to use a chat session. I can see that there's only a handful of people here compared to Tuesday. So if you just want to open up your mic and jump in, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And if there are no questions, we kind of did what we wanted to do today. We sent an introduction out. Many of us already have an idea of what they are because of the spring. We want to make sure that we continue on with the capacity that has been developed this spring. Many of the teachers in the division were forced into a situation that was totally outside of their element. It was uncomfortable for them and for their students. But maybe after this is all over, we can kind of continue on with the momentum that we developed, the skills that were developed this spring, and we can kind of keep the train rolling down the tracks with the new skills that we have with using blended learning, using Moodle, using Google Classrooms. All those things that we kind of were forced to figure out this spring are all beneficial in many different ways. And I think a lot of our teachers in the division are realizing that as painful as it was to get through this, we did. And now you can use that expertise to, supplement your face-to-face learning and to, use it going into the future. We don't know what the fall is going to look like. We don't know how it's all going to pan out. So these are all skills that are worthy to have. It's part of being a 21st century learner, I guess. Todd or Kara, do you guys have anything more that you want to add to this? Or am I missing something? Mark, I know you're online here. If you want to add anything, feel free to do that too.
I just want to say that it's been, a lot of work this spring, but it's also been really, really nice to see everybody jump in with both feet and you try. And we are here to answer questions like Ryan said, send us an email, a telephone call. We want you to succeed and we'll do everything we can to help you in whatever way we can. And if we can't, we will try to find someone who can help you. So keep doing what you're doing and let's keep going from there.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to echo everything Ryan, Todd, and Kara said. People think about like IT, ET, cyber. It really, we're all just part of the same big group. And we got forced into a really uncomfortable situation, but I think the teachers did an insane job. Everybody kind of took over their areas and just created resources and supports that pushed us honestly 5 years ahead in progress. So whatever you're using, I think we have people there that are dedicated and passionate to support you. And I think this is just making cyber school better. So definitely take a look. That sway that Todd just put out is awesome. The resources that Kara has on the Moodle course are unreal as well. And I don't think enough teachers know about those. So definitely look at all the options to see what can be available for your staff and students. I think it's all great.
Thank you, Mark. Like everybody's saying, we're all here. We're all kind of pushing in the same direction. So whatever your questions are, direct them our way, ET way. We will try to get them addressed as soon as we can. If there's anything else that has to be addressed, let us know. If not, it's almost 11 o'clock. I know people are in their face-to-face buildings and they have a lot of things that they want to try to finish up before the end of the school day tomorrow. So please enjoy the rest of the morning. I know there's another session this afternoon on the same account, so you can log in and enjoy the show. Otherwise, if there's nothing else that comes down and nobody else has anything to say, that is about it from our end. So
do you want to just throw it over to me, Ryan? I just have one image I want to share. Everyone can head into the summer with this one thought. If you just let me share one part of my screen here.
Okay, I stopped presenting, so hopefully that opens it up for you.
Okay, hopefully everybody can see that one now. I'll just let that one sink in.
Yeah, I saw this one too.
This is how we go. As long as we stay positive, everyone gets some rest and be safe. And yeah, hopefully when we come back in the fall, it won't be quite what this message is sharing for us.
Yeehaw.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.